Keep in mind, this is Mexico streets, okay? So all of this is legal.
I already know Manny climbed in the back seat and acted like he was asleep.
We pulled up in the pit and Manny's over there licking his fingers trying to pick up the gas can.
What are y'all doing? Cord, come on, why didn't you tell me?
Man, I think the exhaust is gone.
Because I seen Manny's head peeled so far over the side of that truck.
Like he was riding Gravitron.
Man.
Yep, scared money don't make money.
2. All right, here we go again, boys. Y'all ready for another checkers or wreckers?
Ready.
D, I know we just finished up the Parker 250. How you feeling right now? How's the body feeling?
Feels pretty good. My neck was a little bit sore afterwards for sure. But other than that, good to go. I'll do another one tomorrow. This weekend, I'll do another one.
Oh, man. Quinton, I can see you still got sleepy eyes like you literally went home from work to take a nap to prepare for this. You did?
Yeah, I went home.
I can still smell your morning breath. Manny Fresh, I see you strung over your shoulder. How's that weight feel on your shoulders?
Man, it's fitting just right, too. Just got to sit here chilling.
How much have you worn that thing since you won it?
All over the place.
You have?
Yeah.
Did you take it out of town with you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Just
I would have wore that thing
it.
around the pits. I'd have been working on the car.
Just enjoy that for the rest of this episode because
Yeah.
it's coming home with me.
Oh, yeah?
Which I guess would mean kind of coming on with you too.
Bro, he was just walking around tech, strapped up, leaned against the truck, putting off the vibe wearing that thing.
Did you, like when people were making eye contact and you know they want to ask you, but you didn't acknowledge it, you just like don't, you don't start the conversation like you're like, why is he wearing that belt? Was there a wrestling match in the hotel?
The utility guy actually asked about it. He said, what is that for?
Did he?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Man,
100%.
You already know. You should know this.
100% with Manny being Latino, they were wondering where his leather mask is.
Oh, yeah.
You talking about some Nacho Libre stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, I know I was going to ask about how many podcasts have we done now?
This is
3?
5.
5.
I think,
it's the 5th one.
Probably 5. And the first thing I notice when we're sitting down here and I'm trying to laugh and talk is the freaking table still don't have no lag bolts in it.
We was talking about that earlier.
We set this podcast room up like a year ago, and Quinn was like, I'm going to put the lag bolts in it tomorrow. As soon as I get my emails caught up, I'm putting them in here.
Well, my emails aren't caught up.
That makes sense. Oh, man. So it's been a crazy week, and we were gone for most of it, but it's been a crazy week here in Louisiana, right?
Dude, y'all have, that's insane. Insane.
Literally the most snow as long as I've been alive that I've ever seen here in Louisiana.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, everybody was talking about 83 when Red River froze, and then a couple of people told me they were like, oh, it wasn't this bad. They were like, there was 10 days of below freezing, but the snowfall was nothing like that. Like, it was insane.
And I think probably what made it worse is Louisiana, and for sure our city, I know, is not set up for snow at all. We don't have plow trucks.
Sand trucks, nothing.
Salt.
No, none of that. So for a week, the roads were trashed. It was like going down the roads like running through San Felipe.
Dude, yes.
Dude, you gotta blow it up. But what I couldn't figure out in my head is literally 2 days before the first stitch of snow even fell, they had the interstates shut down around here. Like they knew what was coming. That nobody can drive around here. We don't have the equipment to support snow. So they're like, you know what? Let's just go and shut the interstates down in advance because it's going to get dicey.
Well, no, people can drive, I promise you, because when you went around those road barriers with blocked interstates, there was more tracks than just mine on the closed road, so people can drive.
That was mine, Mr. Miles, and Manny's tracks around the road blocks.
I seen those. I literally saw those every morning. I was like, yeah, I'm going to do it this morning. And then I freaking chicken out.
I talked Manny and Josh into doing it whenever they were going home one day. And Josh was just like, man, I don't know, dude. Anytime I'm around, like something bad happens. So all week, or for those 3 or 4 days before we left town, I'd been going around the barriers and coming to work and going home on the interstate around the barriers that were shut down. There was always a few tracks in there. But the one day Josh and Manny decided to do it, there's literally a cop sitting sideways blocking the interstate halfway between Shreveport and Bossier on the way home.
It was Bossier, though, huh? Bossier cop?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He was over there right by the North Market exit.
That's the nice side of town. They have more funding, so they got more cops, and they don't mind doing stuff like that. That's their MO.
What did he say to you when you pulled up to him? Because you seen him from a long ways away, right?
We seen him from all the way at the other end of the highway, and I was like, man,
I already know Manny climbed in the back seat and acted like he was asleep.
I was like, should I keep going? But I got Josh with me, so he's always the voice of reason. He makes you do the right thing. So we stopped, and before we even got to him, he already had rolled his window down, so I knew he was going to stop me. And I pulled up before he can say anything. Hey, man, you okay?
That's what you ask him?
I did. Before he said anything, I asked him that.
Say, bro, you need anything? Cool.
Dude, that's freaking quick thinking. That is hilarious.
And he was like, yeah, I'm good. What, are you okay?
Oh, man.
I was like, oh, man.
Here's where it gets bad.
He's like, where you going? I told him. He's like, you need to turn around. I said,
What you mean turn around?
Backwards? He's like, yeah, this road's closed. You need to turn around. I was like, so let me get this right. You want me to go backwards on this lane right here?
The interstate.
On the interstate.
He's like, yeah, that or you can get a ticket.
Did you tell him that your exit was right there?
Yeah, he knew where it was going because he just asked me. But I was like, all right. And I started pulling away. I said, so we'll go backwards right here, right? He was like, yeah.
To the road.
So we go take off together, and he's in two-wheel drive, and we're in four-wheel drive. So he's just
peeling out everywhere.
We just went.
Do you realize where you pulled up and y'all met him was at the Red River Bridge? If you just crossed the bridge, you're in Shreveport, and he has no jurisdiction right there.
I knew it. I knew I shouldn't have listened to
Dude,
Josh.
I would've done
I should have just freaking went.
4-wheel drive boosted launch over the bridge, and he's just going to be like, well, I guess that one's gone.
He was just trying to flex on you is all
He
he was
did,
doing.
and he was in two-wheel drive, so I knew he couldn't catch me, but
Dude.
we did the right thing.
Oh, man. I can appreciate
we
it.
did the right thing.
Y'all remember that jurisdiction thing a little later on in the podcast.
Okay. I like where this is starting. So, but the crazy part about around here, especially with our group, is literally you wake up in the morning and it's like a kid on Christmas morning. When you see snow, you're like, this is drift day. That means today we're on the roads. We're going to drift. First thing I did when I woke up, I called Quinton. I was like, hey, dude, are you working today?
I couldn't drive.
Well, you couldn't drive to work. He's like, let me look outside. Keep in mind, this is like 8 or 9 in the morning, and he's just waking up. He's like, let me look outside. Seen it with snow. He's like, nah, I don't think I'm gonna be able to make it into work. I was like, all right, cool. You want to meet me at the shop, which is like a quarter of a mile from his work. He's like, yeah, I'll meet you there, dude. And that kicked off a day of, I don't know how we didn't go to jail.
Or nobody totaled the truck.
Mainly that. Our first idea was like, hey, let's go to Waffle House. Let's start this day off right. We left out of the shop and we pull out on, keep in mind, this is Mexico streets, okay? So all of this is legal. So we pull out on the closest 4-lane with a turning lane, so like a 5-lane road street. We pull out of the shop, turn right, headed to Waffle House. I'm like, all right, let's just be law-abiding. Like, let's see how this goes a little bit. So it instantly goes to competition. This dude runs the red light. Like, you can tell he just kind of checks both ways. Like, you see the brakes come on for a second and then full gas. He goes from one side of the road all the way over 5 lanes, touches the shoulder of the other side of the road, and brings it all the way back. Dude, and from one end to the other till we got to Waffle House, dude, he was just touching shoulder to shoulder, walking all the way back across the road.
He was just clearing off the lanes for you.
There wasn't many people on the road that day.
Somehow we ended up on somebody's live feed
Oh yeah.
because I'm in the F350 dually.
Yeah.
Traction control and advanced track at, what is it called? What's the second one?
Stability.
Stability.
Track.
Stability track, yeah.
You hold it a little longer, Stability track goes off.
It's kind of like pro mode. Not a lot of people know about that.
I naturally, whenever Quinton's touching shoulder to shoulder, I'm like, well, let me at least keep it in my 2 lanes and the turning lane. I won't get on those.
A little bit of the shoulder.
Yeah, this is a company truck. I'm not going to put it in oncoming traffic, but I'll use 3 lanes.
Yeah.
And so I get swinging that big long bed dually back and forth. And I looked later that day, some dude was doing a live Facebook feed of me and you going down North Market.
Really?
Like, yeah, dude, like Ken Block and like Chris Forsberg just sliding back and
man.
forth.
You saw it? You saw it pop up?
Yeah, somebody tagged me in it like 3 hours later. Like, I think that's Dustin's truck.
Look at them hips. Look at them hips swinging out wide.
But
I hate that I missed that.
Dude,
it was a day full of it.
it was
too.
a blast.
Where were you at? What happened?
I was doing stuff with Hope all day.
Oh, man.
In the truck, though. In the company truck.
Was you being crazy at all?
No, we wasn't. we was being safe.
The problem is I knew that just a couple of days later, right before we left town, we was putting new tires on the truck. So those had like 30,000, 40,000 miles on it.
So
just
wasn't worried
let them
about
eat.
let them freaking eat. Wasn't worried about them. Put another 30,000 miles on it in a day and a half before you.
They had any good left on them afterwards?
Oh no, we got all the good. You know when people put pennies in them and take pictures. Bro, I wasn't even getting a Lincoln scalp in the picture. It didn't get to his forehead in the picture. And so where they got hurt the worst is me and you went up to that big parking lot at CenturyTail. I don't even know what it's called now.
Oh,
Brookshire's.
Brookshire's Tail.
Brookshire's Arena?
Yes.
Are you
That's
serious?
what we
Yes.
The grocery store literally owns our
local
Convention center?
Yes, dude.
What?
I didn't know this.
It's called Brookshire Brothers Arena.
I know. Why didn't they call it something cool like the Thunderdome or like something sweet?
What on earth?
So we got up there, and apparently it was the
Drift meat?
dude, the straight drift meat, but it was all bro trucks that were sagging in the back with the Carolina lean.
Like this?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
Laid down in the back, higher in the front. And they were out there doing like full photo shoots, right?
Yeah, they had a camera on a tripod, like way better than Josh's stuff.
But what had me cracking up is this group of like 3 or 4 guys were trying to like get pictures of themselves and like do donuts and do slides. And freaking Quinton doesn't know they're out there like trying. So he'll come sliding his truck right through the middle of all of them, like trying to do donuts around them. And you can see they're like, bro, come on, dude. Like, come on.
see us over here?
brand new Toyos because they would grab, son. You can get the truck rolling.
Oh, man. So everybody's like doing little slow donuts. This dude, Manny, gets in the back with his cell phone to try to get some back shots, and Quinton is laying that thing out across the parking lot, dude. A 4-wheel drive drift, like from corner to corner of this huge, like a mall parking lot.
Oh, yeah, it was gigantic.
Like he was railing a berm, dude. Just got that big 3/4 ton Dodge laid out.
I can't remember. I ain't been to Brookshire Brothers Arena in so long. Do they got like the light poles everywhere? They
Yes,
got a
with the
Dodge?
concrete,
They do?
like
Oh,
painted
okay, yeah,
yellow.
yeah.
Oh, they do.
Yeah, they do.
Oh, they do.
Oh, yeah. All right. Yeah, I'm surprised that didn't go bad.
And some of the humped curbs you don't see under the snow. And so it's possible that you can catch them full drift,
Bend the axle.
get a little lift off the ground, get a little lift off on full slide. But Quinn got some good out of his Toyos that day. Those were brand new too, right? They weren't even a week old.
Yeah, a week old. But this, I mean, it didn't really, like when you looked at the tracks, they just got down to the concrete, you know.
This is what he says all day. He's like, they're not hurting my tires, dude. Like
Nah.
the snow is keeping them protected. Like I
If
can
you
do
s-
this all day.
If you saw the front left, I was wrong.
It wore.
Oh, man.
Well, that may have been after pulling 18-wheelers.
Hooking up and dragging 18
Maybe
wheelers.
after that, but no, I don't think the deal with Manny in the back hurt anything. I would have
It might hurt-
guesstimated,
it
dude,
might
the
hurt
back of the
me.
truck was like a tube. Like the front of the truck was doing about 45, 50. The rear was 60. I guarantee you down that hill, the truck would catch that downhill and it would just gain so much speed. And I was on the floor. I'm
It
not gonna lie,
looked
like
sweet from the
on
back.
the floor.
I want to see the video that Manny, because the way he was getting shook up in there's no way.
Dude, so he jars at one time. I don't know what happened, but he took a left and a right a little too fast. And I was trying to get on the
When the-
side of the truck and film. And I about went over the freaking bed rail.
Oh, you were in the bed?
We had the
Yes.
bed. Hey,
Oh,
I'm
I
not
thought you
kidding
were
you. I
in the back.
guarantee you we're doing 60-mile-an-hour donuts. The circle is probably I'm covering 5 or 6 football fields in a circle in the trucks. I'm on the floor. And when it would start reducing like steering angle, because we were trying to miss the poles and stuff, you know, you just snap the wheel and it'll throw the truck back out. And so Manny apparently got away from the bed rail and got to the center of the truck trying to hold on to the gooseneck ball or something. I don't know. And I snapped the wheel and it threw him into the bedside of the truck.
Oh, my God.
And he almost went over. And I don't know if you know what a Toyo would do to you at 60 or 70 mile an
man.
hour.
Oh, man.
That definitely will peel your muffin cap back loose. That's for sure.
There's two
Hey,
things
it was
that
a close call.
There's 2 things that I know in life is A, you don't want to ride in the back of Quentin's truck, and B, you don't want to get your head out of the center of a merry-go-round when it's spinning fast.
That is correct.
And those two almost meshed together because I seen Manny's head peeled so far over the side of that truck.
Like he was riding Gravitron.
Man,
Oh, my God.
oh man, had his neck stretched out, dude.
When you used to try to lift your head up off of it, it's like somebody had you by the ears just pulling your face.
Oh, my God.
Quentin, did you happen to go by the shop like that last day of the snowstorm before we left town?
No.
Did you see what happened to our canopy?
No, y'all told me, and I just saw your truck out there, the bedside, dude. I was like,
You hadn't gone and looked yet?
I
Oh, man.
Is it destroyed?
Oh,
Dude, that's a
dude.
red iron big industrial building, dude.
Not no more.
I don't understand. Like
It's a scrap iron, big
Yeah, that's
industrial
exactly
on
what
it.
it is. Gonna have to haul that to the scrap yard.
We're gonna need a bigger trailer for the scrap
You're
yard
right.
now.
You're
Oh,
right.
so it took the whole thing of the length of the building. Y'all building is what, a 200-foot long?
Oh yeah, every bit of that, and it goes from end to end on the thing. So what's crazy is I'd just gotten back from running around getting ready to leave for the race in Dustin's truck because my truck was hooked to the race trailer ready to go already, and
Thank God.
I backed. Yeah, thank goodness, dude. Because I backed Dustin's trailer truck back into his parking spot, got out, walked through my door, made it to my desk, and sat down. And I hear boom, 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 like the length of the building. And I'm like, crap, dude, somebody got whiskey throttle and slammed down the side of our building. I thought somebody's truck was just freaking running down the edge of the building. Walked out there, dude, and when I opened the door, snow poured in the shop door because the awning had collapsed. Dude, them pizza sticks are killing me. Should not have done that.
You're gonna let everybody know what's going on right now.
Oh man! So the awning fell in. Literally, I'd left Dustin's truck there for 30 seconds, and his was probably one of the worsts.
Oh yeah, for sure it was the worst. Dude, imagine if you were, because you have to come through that door.
Yeah.
Like imagine if you would have been walking, like we'd have to find somebody else to fill this seat right here.
Because right there, where the door was and where my truck is normally parked, it looked like it started there. It was the worst right there. So it was touching the ground. When you open the door, the awning was laying on the ground in front of me with probably 3 foot of snow and ice.
So it tore loose from the building side and stayed up on the post and swung down
exactly,
this way.
exactly, and slammed down.
Dude, it folded those I-beams up like freaking.
Like twigs, dude.
Yeah,
Like, I
exactly.
mean, they're like nothing.
Dude, and my office is all the way in the back of the building. And dude, when I heard it, I thought the like building was collapsing because it wasn't like all at one time. It was like boom, 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 boom. I was like, oh my God, what is that? So like I got up and started walking out of the office, and you could tell like everybody else was doing the same thing because everybody else was kind of getting up like trying to figure out what's going on, and like walk outside, and the door has that little peephole through it. And like normally you can see out into the field and it's just white. So like I knew immediately what happened, and I was like, oh my God. Because I knew who all would park, all was parked under there.
Yeah, and it was a familiar sound because I don't know if y'all remember in Canada when that guy drove through the building and the car wash.
Yes, dude.
So me and Quarter sitting out there, and I'm like, oh yeah, somebody just drove through our building. I thought the 18-wheelers across the street, somebody freaking done plowed in the building. That's what it sounded like. It
Dude,
was
that's
loud.
right. I forgot about that. You didn't go to this with Canada. Dude, tell it, Manny. Tell him that story about.
So you got to wash your stuff off when you come back into the States from Canada. So we're at the mud ride with Oscar Cruiser, and we're sitting in that indoor car wash. It's like a building you pull in with closing doors. We're washing, and then you just hear a ruckus of metal, dude. Just
Oh,
chaos.
there's no sound like sheet metal like
Hey,
getting hit.
we come around the curve, the wall, and there's a kid standing under a hanging door, just like in complete awe, trying to figure out what he did. He whiskey throttled through the door. He didn't wait for it to open.
Oh my God.
It's hanging.
And- oh yeah, and it's
hanging
like
by
hanging
the,
on the hinges, just sitting
Oh
there.
my God.
Oh yeah, So
hanging
that's
by
what it
the
sounded like.
hanging by that cable that supports it
Yes.
to counterweight it.
Yes.
And me and Manny walk out there, and I'm like, hey, bro, you might want to get out from under that. Manny's like, yeah, get out from under. He's like, huh? And this is an industrial sized door. This thing is 20 foot tall. Dude,
Yeah.
he's standing there looking at his work.
Dude, it almost seems like crazy stuff like that just follows us around or something.
Yeah, I swear, I tell everybody, like if we were going to make this stuff up that happens to us, we would make it more believable than these outrageous stories that happen whenever we're around. But the tough part too, I know Manny was sick to his stomach because I seen him full sprint like he'd been rolling somebody's house running across the shop because that day was, I guess, the only first day you'd put your truck under the
I
awning.
had four plus years of never parked under there.
Brand new 2020 F-250.
Oh yeah,
37s, like wheels. You haven't had it a month, maybe?
I know, dude. I was like, you got to be kidding me. This is not.
You just knew
happening
it was
right now.
trashed.
Yeah, because I mean, you've seen it. I mean, when we opened the door and everybody's vehicles crushed, I'm like, oh great.
Oh,
Dude, because that was one of the snow days. So like half of everybody was didn't come into work.
Right.
So that's why you parked underneath there.
Right.
Dude,
And what'd you find when you got out there?
Man, not a scratch one. my teammate
Who saved
DH's
you?
truck. The blunt. He took it for the team.
D's 3/4 ton Dodge was carrying the load.
Was yours the only vehicle that didn't get
The beam was like a foot and a half off of my
So out of
cab.
all the trucks under there, yours is the only one that didn't get touched because Mal's Jeeps were under there. Two
both of
brand
his
new
Jeeps.
Jeeps.
Yep.
Cody,
Cody's nice new
Dude,
Jeep.
poor freaking Boone. That day he drove his wife's car to work. And I think it was the worst.
Yeah.
Bro, it tore the front off. It tore the front off
The
that
windshield cracked. I mean,
it came down across his A-pillars in his windshield, busted the windshield. And so we were on there with forklifts trying to get all the vehicles out. Well, we needed to get Boone's out so we could get Dustin's out. So like it was like a domino effect. You had to get them out in a certain order. We picked Boone's up off the windshield and we're like, oh, all right, back out. Well, we didn't know the 10 had hooked his front fascia. Like right at the seam of his hood line and his fascia line. And like you hear the car kind of stall up. And we're trying to hold it up with a forklift and you hear it cracking and popping. I'm like, dude, go. Like give it some gas. He's like, all right, man. Stabs it, tears the whole front fascia off the car, dude.
Did you feel bad when you told him to stab it?
No. I already knew the damage was done. It could get worse, but it did get worse.
There was so much weight on Boone's car that the front tires were flat.
Oh, it did? It had it smashed down?
It had smashed down so much the front tires were flat. Blowed glass all on the inside. He's still grounded. He's still grounded for that.
the car's still sitting there. It's
I know.
like, what is going on?
I think he
at the
hasn't
shop.
told Patience yet.
He probably hasn't.
I think he hasn't told her.
I don't think he has either.
There's no way.
She texted me and asked me,
There
hey,
is a way.
Is Boone still got my car shop? I was like, yeah, it's parked up here under the awning, just trying to keep it out of the weather. I don't think he's told
Just
her.
trying to keep it out of the way.
Yeah, he's probably like, she's calling like, hey, has Boone been coming to work lately? I hadn't seen him in a while. He's trying to avoid that at all costs.
Man, poor.
I don't blame him.
So that was literally the day we were leaving the race, right?
Yeah. We left the very next morning, I believe. We didn't?
That happened at like 2:00 in the afternoon, and we were leaving at 5.
Oh, you're right. We did leave that
That was the
afternoon.
day because
Yeah.
y'all were still loading up and like came out there to
Yeah.
help us and was like, hey, dude, I was like, man, just get the car ready. We still have to get out of town because that show has to go on.
Yeah.
So no matter what happened, we had to leave and we had horrible weather to be driving in.
Dude, I cannot believe y'all got the truck there without totaling it or getting hit.
Oh, dude, it was misery. And
The
we-
roads were insane.
Yeah, and it ain't like we got out there super clean. So we left from the shop at like 5 o'clock, and it was terrible weather. But I-20 was open, and there's no way it should have been open with the ice and stuff that was on there.
No.
And so we get from like Shreveport to Longview. That's like a 45-minute drive, maybe. That took us like 3 or 4 hours.
Long time, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And so just as we come into there, we're coming up the hill. It's done got dark, and we see an 18-wheeler that's kind of cocked sideways in the road. Well, we're the first people pulling up to him, so obviously it had just happened. And what it looks like is he was going up the hill and slowed down and lost some traction because obviously no 18-wheelers around here have chains, and slowed down and cocked the truck sideways in the road. And so we're like, crap, man, what are we going to do? So Manny and Dustin jump out, cord 2, jump out, help the dude. He has no clue how to put his snow chains on. He had some, had no clue. So Manny's out there in his good house slippers. His
I was getting ready for the 20-hour trip. I wasn't thinking we was going to be helping 18-wheelers on the side of the road.
he had pajama pants on, dude. He was not set up for working. And so they're out there just trying to strap these dudes' chains on. Couldn't get it. Couldn't get the truck to move. So I was like, don't worry about it. There's cars lined up behind us. Like, let's just help this guy, help him move, help him get to the side, and then we'll go and everybody else can go. So cool, no problem. Hook up to him. Couldn't really get it to move, so we got truck, trailer, race car, everything hooked together, hooked on the back of it. Got some slack in a chain because we didn't have a good jerk strap. So we didn't have a good jerk strap, and we just started snatching on this 18-wheeler, dude, and got it drug like kind of straight in the road. The road was icy enough you kind of get it straight. Kind of got him out of the road. He still couldn't move because he had a flat and all this other stuff. So we got him just out of the road enough that I was like, all right, we can maybe get around him on the shoulder. I was like, D, go walk that off and make sure we're good. He takes like 3 steps out there in his tennis shoes. He's like, yep, I think we're good. We can go around.
Because it was what temperature that night? It was
It was like
15?
10. It was like 10
So
degrees.
yeah,
It
you're
was
not
so
trying
cold.
to get back in
Yeah.
the truck.
Yeah, it
for
was
sure.
It was misery. So he kind of just took a couple steps. He's like, yeah, you got it. You can make it. Well, you couldn't see the shoulder because it was just wide out from the
No,
sun.
there's like already a foot of snow on the ground.
Oh,
At least.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
It was all white.
So we hit the shoulder trying to go around this 18-wheeler, trying to literally get him out of the way so everybody else could get out of the way. And son of a freaking gun, we dipped off the side of that shoulder and buried that truck and the race trailer on the side of the interstate, dude.
Down to the axles.
Oh, yeah. Had the whole interstate blocked up on both sides. The other side was a guardrail. 18-wheeler had the 2 lanes and most of the shoulder, and then now we're stuck in the ditch right there.
So nobody's getting by now. That's
No-
it.
No, sir.
And by this time, it had probably, like, we had been there for an hour, like, trying to help this dude get his truck moved, and like people were stacking up behind us, and like this dude could not even speak English. Didn't know his chains were brand new in the bag. Like he didn't know what he was doing. Obviously, people were behind us were getting mad. They were hollering out the window, "Hurry up! Get out the way!"
I promise we don't want to be in this position.
Yeah.
And his lighting
I
situation.
already
tell
know
him
there
the
were some
lighting
more
he had.
choice words than that said back to the back to the peanut gallery.
Yeah, exactly. You always think like anytime you hit a traffic jam, you're like, dude, if I just knew what was going on up there. I was like, what kind of idiot got this traffic jam started?
And
For once in my life, it was us.
we were them idiots.
Yeah, we were those idiots.
You know, if you're keeping track of time, we left at 5. It took us like 4 hours to get to where he is. So it's 9 o'clock at night.
Oh yeah.
We're hung up. We're back there rocking the trailer, spooling the truck up, burning those brand new tires off the truck, trying to get it out of the ditch. Dude had me so freaking mad. And I was like, all right, like, only option we got. The only dude that's not with us that I know is willing to help or could help, Quinton. So I was like, let's call him. Let's recall him. 9 o'clock at night, 9:30 at night, and the roads are covered in snow. A lot of the roads are shut down. Like, I'll call Quinton. And so I called him. Dude, and I was so mad. I could tell. He could tell in my voice. I was like, hey, where you at? I was like, oh, man, I'm laid up at the house.
No, I was actually hanging on the way to somebody's house to eat spaghetti with 4 girls.
Even better. So it was like, dude, we need help. He's like, cool, on my way. Where you at? Drop me a pin. I was like, oh, man, my boy. And so he grabs what he needs. So your brother's winch truck or your brother's truck with a winch?
Yeah, Cody, we had been driving around pulling out ambulances and fire trucks, and Cody, has got a 12,000-pound winch on his truck. I was like, oh, we can anchor it off and get it out with that. They can't be worse off than that.
And so y'all grab a couple straps, a couple chains, hit the road, and you're skint back coming down the interstate.
Yeah, we're coming down 20 because there wasn't a lot of traffic from Shreveport to you guys necessarily. And so I had Shelby in the truck with me. I was like, hey, I got to go get Dustin and them. I was like, it's going to be a 3 or 4 hour deal to get there and get back. And she's like, whatever, I ain't going to do. So we hit 20 and we're rolling. And I top a hill and there's an 18-wheeler. I mean, we're running 65, 70, just cruising full-wheel drive. It's nothing. The truck's in the ruts. So we top a hill. There's an 18-wheeler
My God.
running. Yeah,
He catches up. He's running 80 miles an hour on a closed interstate on literally ice. That 18-wheelers came up. Can't get up. He comes over the hill, and it's the start of the traffic that leads to us where we're blocking the interstate.
And your first instinct's like, all right, let me get on the brakes. It's normal distance where you could shut down if the roads weren't icy. As soon as I touched the brakes, I swear the truck accelerated.
It sped up on you, didn't
And
it?
I in a split, like probably happened within 5 or 6 seconds, I just looked over, I was like, hey, hang on, we're going to hit this 18-wheeler. And she braced, and so I start steering the truck. I let off the brakes, and I'm like, all right, I steer the truck, and it goes to grab. So I put it on the floor, full lock left, and it grabs the snow in the center of the 2 lanes, and the truck hops out of the ruts. I'm like, hang on, we're about to hit it on your side. And so it's her side about to hit the corner of the 18-wheeler trailer, and at the last minute, the truck hooks up and pulls out of the lane. And we're still doing 65 or 70 completely sideways. And when I say, I was like, after I seen us hop up and then the 18-wheeler trailer pass out of the window, I'm thinking, all right, it's going to hit the tail of the truck and we're going to spin around, so I need to be ready to do whatever we need to do. And we had to have shaved paint off that trailer when we passed that truck.
Your big truck or your new truck?
No, the new brand new one.
Oh. You pull over the top of the hill, you see that line of cars. Yep, found them. Found them.
It literally.
I know where D and them are.
Yeah. Scared me like I've never been scared before.
Dude.
You thought it was over? Well, if you weren't even to the truck yet and you just told her, like, hey, hold on.
Oh, I knew. As soon as we topped the hill, as soon as I touched the brakes, and I was like, oh.
I've been with you in an X3 when you said, hey, hold on. And literally, there's never been a time that I didn't have to hold on for what happened next.
Dude, it would not have been good. I mean, we were rolling, man. That truck was at a standstill, 5 or 10 miles an hour. And like I said, we passed him. How, I don't know. It doesn't even make sense.
It was that close.
Dude, it doesn't make sense. I was for sure like, oh, man, we're gone.
Literally, the worst part of it is that's when Quinton was almost to us. Well, shout out to the Ivy Brothers and Southern Transport. One of their guys pulled up, saw us stuck, and got us out of the ditch so that we could keep going. So I called Quinton. Just immediately, not even.
I'm looking at y'all. I went past all the traffic and took all the back roads and got on 80, and I'm on the service road looking at y'all. And and D calls me.
And I called. It wasn't 30 minutes out after we got out of the ditch and got the truck moving. I called him. I was like, "Hey, dude, we don't need you." And then he told me that story that he almost totaled that truck.
Yeah, and it probably took an hour or more to get to us.
About an hour and a half.
God.
And what's funnier is you said I knew you were pissed off. The reason I knew you were pissed off is because do you remember the conversation you were having with the guy when I was on the phone?
Oh yeah, the truck driver,
Dude,
The winch guy?
No, the tow truck guy.
Oh yeah.
Tow truck. Yeah.
I've got you on speakerphone and we're driving to the truck and he's like, "Hey, where you at?" And I was like, "Oh man, we're on the way." And like the phone starts up and like he's talking to someone else and I'm like, and D doesn't normally do that because he'll get pissed off if you do that to him. So I'm like, D. And like I can hear him talking to someone and all of a sudden the conversation starts coming in and he's like, What'd you say? What'd you say? Oh, I ain't paying a freaking dime. You got the wrong one. And I was like, D. And he's like, "Oh no, I got someone on the way." No, what'd you say? No, I got options. And like,
That's literally.
I do remember you saying that.
Dude, that's exactly how the conversation went.
and then it calmed down for a minute, and I was like, "Are they arguing? Are they about to fight on the side of the road?" I was like, "We got to get there."
I've watched too many hockey fights. I think I could fight standing up on ice. I'd have had his overalls, his old tow trucker overalls pulled over his head, just uppercutting him right there.
I'm listening to the conversation, and I'm kind of smiling because it's funny to me. I'm hearing the conversation, and the dude's like, and then I think he said he was going to help you, and you're like, "Are you going to help us?" "All right, then don't worry about it. I got someone on the way. I'll hold this whole interstate up until my help gets here. I ain't paying you a dime." And I was literally thinking, I was like, man, it's $150. That gets you out of Las Vegas, but understands the principle of it. When you told me the story of what happened, he was trying to flex on you to the cop.
Oh yeah,
So tell us.
Yeah, because that tow truck guy showed up with the cops. I was like, cool, man. They're just out here helping everybody. And I think he was, because he was like getting ready to hook up to the 18-wheeler to get him turned all the way around. And he was like, "Oh, you're the one that's got this roadblock up." I said, "No, dude, I was out here just helping this guy. I wanted to help everybody else get moving." He's like, "Well, you're the problem. You're the reason we got to come out here." I was like, "Dude, I'm telling you, like, I was not the problem, dude. I'm out here helping people." He was like, "All right, we got to get you out of the way." And I seen him lean over to that cop and whisper to that cop. He said, "I'm fixing to hit him for $150. And I said, "What did you just say?" He's like, "If you want to get out of here, it's $150. I said, "I'm going to tell you right now, I ain't paying you a freaking dime. I don't need your help, and I got help on the way. And I will let my friend total his truck to come get me out of a ditch." Dude, he had me so mad.
Oh, I wasn't mad about it. I would have done the same thing. I'm the same way. It would be different if he was like, "Hey, man, I got a business to run. It's going to be $150 to hook up to you and tow you
I'd
out."
have said no problem.
Cool.
No problem. But the way he did it,
I knew it went
if he'd have been
super
like, "Hey,
sad.
dude, like, it's out here, it's freezing. I'm away from my family. Like, $150 if you can." "Yeah, dude, of course. I'll give you $200 to get me out of here so we can get back on the interstate." That was not the problem. It's him being sneaky in that he wasn't charging anybody else. And even going to tell him, "I'll get him for $150. Not me, you won't."
Dude, that conversation had me cracking up because I could hear how pissed off you were in your voice.
Dude, I was so mad.
Like
I was
shaking.
so mad. And so we did get out of there. Southern Transport, Ivy Boys got us pulled out.
They did that.
Dude, such good dudes, man. Snatched us right out. So we hit the highway. And so we got to... What just happened?
Pizza stick.
My dog wants in, but he's kind of bad, so we can't let him stay in the podcast.
Yeah, Ezekiel bad. Him and Tony will have this whole place. Ezekiel and Tony, they'll have the whole place torn.
What is your name?
So we got to get to the race, man. We literally did get no sleep, drove all night, all the next day just to get there so that we could tech the next morning. Barely made it. So all that, whenever we hit, I don't know, where did it start warming up?
Almost to El Paso.
Yeah, so halfway across Texas is before it just got normal roads so we could get it. So from then on, we was smooth sailing. Like we knew we just had to click off the miles and get there. Got out there to the race. And this is the Parker 250, so it's the first race of the year. And first race of the year, you always fall into a random draw just because, I mean, that's how it works. Or that's how it worked this year as you go into the random draw.
Right.
And we drew freaking 44th on this first race.
Had I like 52?
Yes.
Dude, y'all have never had good luck on the draws. Y'all have literally never had a good luck on the draw,
Dude, we
ever.
never
for sure.
could have draw. But what made this worse is, how long were the loops, Manny?
63 miles.
And we had to do
4
4 of them, yeah.
four laps on 63 miles. How many total cars were in it? Do you know?
There was almost 200
Yeah,
cars
200
on the track.
We did the math, and that's like a car over 63 miles. That's like a car every like 800 or 900 foot.
Yeah.
Gosh. So that was unlimited cars, rally class cars, sportsman, pro turbo,
Yeah, RS1.
A new class.
Yeah, the new class.
Open class.
So there's like 5 or 6 classes going to be on a 60-mile loop for 4. We knew us starting 44th was going to be a struggle because we're fixing to have to try to battle through this group of Pro Turbo guys. But next, we knew we were going to get in lap traffic in no time. And you talk about a long day in a race car racing in dust. And now, I think Manny looked at it. What does the front bumper look like today, Manny?
It's got some new accessories.
Dude, I looked at it after the race because I knew we put that thing to use more than any other race for sure.
More than ever.
That thing had some dings on it. One of them is like
It's got some
bad.
jewelry.
Half piped it.
Yeah,
Half
there's-
piped it.
Oh yeah.
there's one bad one on there.
And let me start off by saying, like, we don't normally punt people.
Oh, here we go.
Like, we respect
the disclaimer.
We respect other racers, and like it's racing. You know what I mean? So they're trying to race, we're trying to race. But if we've caught you and battled through your dust and caught up to you, and we've showed you the horn, we've let you know we're back there, we've hit the push to pass, which is literally a box in the car that tells you there's a car behind you trying to pass you. Mm-hmm. We do give everybody opportunities, but we had something to get done, which was trying to get to the front of the race from 44th place. And so we started getting into, all right, D, like, wait till I catch them. You hit the push to pass. I'll hit the horn, and then we'll hit them. And
there's no time for courtesy.
We can't. It's a 60-mile loop. We knew we were going to be in cars and dust all day. The only chance that we have to do decent is to start moving. And so...
Yeah, like we knew we couldn't afford to waste any time being stuck behind people because we've had bad draws before and ran like towards the front, but that was like Vegas Arena, like 600 miles.
Yeah.
250 miles, like we already knew that was going to be difficult to run from that far back up, so we knew we had to get around everybody as fast as possible, and especially on the first lap because me and Manny did the math, and when we come around for lap 2, there were so many cars, like when we start lap 2, the last car only took off like 10 minutes ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
because we got into them going into lap 3 or 2.
Should have been 2.
2, yeah.
Yeah. So
2.
we got into them quick, and I thought, dude, how are there people still? I thought maybe they broke down, but they had just got off the line.
Yeah.
Dude, that's
They're just
insane.
starting their race, and you're already on your second.
Yeah, exactly.
Is it like this every year with that loop in that many cars?
No, the Parker is usually so because of like everything COVID and everything, they had to shut down the Indian reservation section, so they didn't run Shea Road and all that.
Okay,
So there's
okay.
usually like 30 more miles than that.
Normally it's like almost 90-mile loop.
Yeah.
They do less laps, but it is a little bit longer. And there was a crazy amount of cars this year. I guess everybody wanted to come race. You know?
They had plenty of time to get their car ready. All the skipped races.
Nobody's done anything, so they were ready to get out of the house and do some racing. So it brought out a lot of new cars.
Dude, that's wild.
I've got to tell you the worst one. So we for sure had to punt a few people, and a couple of guys just kept jackrabbing us from the horn and the thing, and we had to punt them hard. And so the worst one was we hit the fire road section at the back of Parker. You've raced Parker before.
Yeah.
There's a fire road section back there that's super fast. I think we were hitting like 89.
Yeah, almost 90.
Almost 90 miles an hour back there, stretching the car out. So we caught a car that was moving pretty freaking good, but we had the car stretched out down that thing, and we were running in some blind dust. Ran up behind him, hit the push to pass. Did he even hit okay, or did he didn't acknowledge the push to pass?
No.
So we're going down a long straightaway and it's 2 lanes wide, 2 full vehicle lanes wide, going into a left-hand turn. And so we run right up on him and get on the horn, and this is like his second chance to move. Next one, we're going to go ahead and punt him. And so he like swings way out to the right hand. So whenever we get real close to him, get on the horn, I kind of back out of the gas to give him time to find somewhere to get off.
Yeah.
He swapped over, so I was like, all right, sweet, he's going to go. And so we put it on the wood and go to try to make a move on him on this left-hand turn. Well, he had only swung outside to make this left-hand turn. And so you've been on those fire roads. It's like banks on each side with drops on the other side.
Yeah. That's that road that's got the big rolling hills, and you're going so fast the car stays light over the top of the hills, and you can't got no steering really.
Yes.
That road's scary.
And so we try to run in on him, and I mean, we're door deep on him. He's got to know that we're there. I can see his helmet in the rear view mirror, so I know if he just looked at it, he would see us. And he comes over on us, dude, and we hook front tires, and he's moving
At
over
like
on us.
50 miles an hour.
Oh
probably.
no, like 85 miles an hour, dude.
80 plus.
We're laced out, and he starts creeping over on us. So I'm going and going until I'm about to touch the bank, and from there I know we're going high side for sure. I was like, I can't go any further, so I just hold my line. His tire gets into our front tire, and we kind of pit maneuver him, and he starts swapping ends a little bit. Freaking tire smoke going everywhere, but finally gets the car settled back down, and that's the first time that he even realized we were there.
I know that's the danger of running so many cars on the track and running all those different classes. Is like some of those guys racing the rally class and sportsman class, like they don't understand. Like, hey, if car's coming up behind me, I need to get over to the right side, or I need to find the first available opportunity to get over, or hey, co-driver needs to be watching the mirrors to avoid stuff like this. That's what makes it difficult. Not only running from the back like that because you got to fight through so many people, but also having so many cars on such a small loop makes it dangerous. But at the end of the day, everybody is facing the same thing, so part of it makes it difficult and super sketchy. Thankfully, we got out of that one relatively unscathed. I think that's where our number plate went.
It must have been. I still don't know the story on that.
The number plate
It's
missing?
gone. I know that much.
Yeah.
I think we had a brand new front fascia on the car, and Manny came in like today for our meeting. He was like, did y'all hit something with the front of the car? Like the whole front of the car is tore up.
It is that one I just hacked all up. Are you serious?
Just rock
Smushed
blasted.
in. I said, man, what on earth?
Like the back of cars passing the bumper and
It had to be.
cramming the plastic.
It had to be that's what it was from because Manny was saying something like, man, y'all destroyed this car. And I literally was thinking, like, after the race, like, man, we had a clean race.
Mm-hmm.
We hit that.
They said that every time.
We hit that one.
Inside the cab looks good.
Yeah. Like, we hit that one rock, but, like, it didn't even, like, bend the wheel or anything. And get out, and, like, one of the A-arms has got a big dent in it.
One.
Number plates missing. Apparently, the brand new fascia is destroyed, I guess. I don't know. I don't even remember.
Dude, you do lose concept of how fast you are going out there and how fast you hit stuff because the race is so rough.
Mm-hmm.
That car will y'all's cars will take a beating, dude. It's insane.
It is impressive what they can go through.
Because I've been in them when
Certainly.
we've hit stuff and they don't bend. So for y'all to be bending stuff,
Dude.
you gotta hit.
And Manny's right, dude. It's impressive because the third and fourth lap, especially towards the end of the third and then the whole fourth lap, we was shaking so hard, dude. My vision was getting blurry in the car. I don't know how it doesn't rattle the car apart.
Dude, there was times like because it got really bad on the third lap. Third and fourth lap were so bad. Like I've got the iPad literally like right here, like 6 or 8 inches away from my face, and I've got the text as big as it'll go, like jitterbug mode.
Jitterbug.
And
man.
on the third and fourth lap, like we were shaking so bad I could not read what was on the iPad. So like
Really?
No, I couldn't. Like I could read like the first word, so I'd be like hard.
Oh, I already know.
And then I was trying. Then I was
Dude
trying
was
to.
getting so pissed.
I kept. I couldn't. I literally could not read what was next, and it probably happened 10 times. And I was just waiting for him to be like, "Hard what?" I don't know.
I would have, except my eyeballs was getting unclear, and I really shouldn't have been going as fast as what we was. Man. And I thought there was something wrong with me. I thought maybe my eyes were getting fatigued and like I was in a bind. And so I was like, oh, man, I can't freaking concentrate. But I look over at D, and he's got this iPad, I'm talking about, in his face. And I can see him over there squinting, just going, I think it's a left. I think there's a hard left coming. And I was like, okay, it's not just me.
Dude, and half the time, like probably the last 2 laps, visors got trashed, and it was so dusty, and the sun was bad, so like you couldn't see really well, and like no matter how much you wiped your visor, like I still couldn't see, so I ended up flipping my visor up, so I'm just getting blasted in the face.
There's no way I would run out there without a visor on.
Yeah,
With the
I
visor
can't.
down.
You would go out there in a what did you race? Texplex or something with a amber shield and had to run with it up, didn't you?
No, I didn't put it up.
You just ran with it
I'm
down?
never going to go in a car and not have it on.
Yeah, I don't.
Didn't you
no
say
way.
you couldn't see nothing?
We
dude?
couldn't see. That's why I was flipping the lights,
At night.
trying to figure out what was working or not
Was at
working.
night, yeah.
But I couldn't see. It was like driving blind, but I was not about to pick my visor up. No way.
Dude, that track was like a graveyard. I never seen so many tore up, broke down cars on one track.
Yeah.
Like just littered everywhere.
I know. You said y'all saw like full springs and like shock springs
Like
and like
stuff got blowed
I was
apart.
like, what?
Dude, the
Yeah.
amazing things that you see during a race.
Dude, it's weird.
Wasn't it? What's his name saying he hit a donkey or something? Was he joking or was that real?
Oh,
Bernie?
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know. Apparently there's...
He said he broke down out there, and he was out there so long, some wild donkeys came wandering up to him.
Oh, I thought he said
That's
he hit
sweet.
one.
At one of the... I don't remember which race it was, but we finished, and we're in the finish line like right at dusk, and there was like wild horses off, I don't know, 50 yards.
Yep.
He was
So
like
I don't doubt it.
the finish at Silver State or something like
Yeah.
that. Some wild horses walked up.
That's sweet.
But yeah, there's a collection of stuff left on the track. It is, besides cars being broke, it's like a boneyard of jacks, fire extinguishers, tool bags.
Yeah, axles, plastics,
Body parts for sure.
apparently
number plates.
Yeah, apparently number plates.
Yeah, we got one in the mix.
For
What on
sure,
earth? That's
there's
high up on the card.
dude. For sure, there's number plate.
Oh, wheels and tires for sure. Whether it be shredded apart ones or like people lose their freaking spares, tool bags.
There was a bunch of brand new wheels and tires still mounted out there. You could have put together a full set of wheels and tires from that race just sitting on the track, still fresh.
You think anybody's ever had a flat and then like jack somebody else instead of using their good spare?
I'll
Let's
tell you
try
what.
that tire.
I'll tell you what I know did happen is somebody blew a belt and stole the belt off of another parked car and put it on their car.
Who did?
I remember that story a while back.
What was his name?
Amin Patel.
Yeah. Somebody stole his
Beer
belt.
drinking crew.
Yeah,
Dude, the
he-
beer drinking crew.
He had crashed his car and just stuff went everywhere. Well, somebody broke down beside him, ran over there, found his belt sitting on the ground, put it on their car, and took off. And he was so freaking mad about it, dude.
Oh, didn't he? I heard about this. It was like a couple years ago. He made like a scene at the
Next-
awards or something.
Driver's meeting. Driver's meeting.
The next driver's meeting.
Kanye West, the microphone.
Yeah,
yes.
just
Yes,
demoed.
for sure.
Over a.
Budweiser in hand.
Yes.
You know, he always
You already know.
double fisting two, holding two of them at one time.
Oh, yeah, he slips them between his fingers and holds on to both of them. So, yeah, there's some crazy stuff always out there on the race. But it was a good race, man. We ended up, went from 44th to, I don't know where physically, but somehow we made our way back to third.
Dude, that's insane.
It was tough, dude. And I'll be honest, I didn't think we were running a pace to do well.
I knew we were running fast, but like a lot of the real fast guys got a good draw. You know, Phil and Austin started in the top 3, so I knew that was working against us. So I knew we were keeping a fast pace, but not as fast as those guys that got to run up front in clean air for a little while. So, you know, the game plan going into that race was top 10,
Yeah.
you know, to set us
Right.
up for the next race. So I figured when we finished, because we didn't have any problems and the sheer amount of cars that we passed, whether it be broke or just outright passing them, like I knew that we probably did decent, just didn't know how well. So when we finally got word that we might have podiumed, it was like, man, like we had to freaking earn that one. That one was not easy.
Dude, that's crazy. Y'all had a good run because, like, there's been some random stuff happen. So,
Yeah.
Manny had the car dialed for this race, huh?
That, and I'm sure after King of the Hammers, like you had to be, Manny, you had to be happy.
Yeah, for sure, man. It definitely, for one, we just put the car back together after the season, so it's a full frame off restoration. So there's always that little like,
Uncertainty.
yeah, you know, you're just like, I think it's gonna be okay. But no, it for sure after doing all that at KOH and then
Man.
just sitting in the pits and losing track of time. I mean, that's how fast it went. I literally between lap 2 and 3, I lost track of time, and they snuck up on me. Like they came into the pit, and we were over there eating chicken with Miss Celeste.
We pulled up in the pit and Manny's over there licking his fingers trying to pick up the gas can. So he's fumbling with the
Gordon, come help me.
Man, but yeah, I mean, it went super smooth.
Did they sneak up on you and scare you so bad, like you're looking around trying to blame other people already?
No,
Like,
but
what are y'all doing? Cord, come on! Why didn't you tell me?
They always call. They don't ever talk. You know, they're really silent except for when they're about a mile out. And but D will call a mile out, and then 10 seconds later they're pulling through the pits. I'm like, man, that is the shortest mile I've ever seen.
Dude, because they are literally doing
Yeah.
call outs as soon as they leave the pit and come in, and I know because D always sounds super stressed. He's like, 978 pits, come in. And you're thinking the car's on fire, and you're like, what's up? He's like, we're coming into the pits. I'm like, all right, bro.
What's wrong?
Yeah.
All right, what's wrong with the car? Nothing. We're just coming in right now.
Yes.
Look at
exactly
the
like-
car when we go by.
It's high stress situation.
I
ain't gonna
know,
lie to
dude.
you.
And we got a case of the imaginary flats that we call it. It's
know.
it's
I'm the
now it's a
worst.
running joke.
Dude,
now.
I'm the worst about it.
Dude, because like we were coming to the pits, and I'm calling to Manny, and them like, hey, we're coming to the pits, we're 1 mile out, like just look at the car when we drive by. Y'all didn't know at the time was like our intercom wasn't working. So thankfully he could hear me, but I couldn't hear him. It was just static. So anytime he wanted to say something, it was just like grunts and like pointing. And so imagine in the race car while he's driving and I'm trying to call, imagine him trying to describe using hand gestures
Full
that we,
conversation.
a flat.
that we got 2 rear flats. Somehow it was a lot of this. pointing to both ways.
What blows my mind is, in hindsight, whenever he figures out, I don't know how he does it, but when he figures out what I'm trying to describe to him and we're done, I'm like, how the crap did you even figure out what I'm doing? So like, he's calling, he's like, all right, 978 to pits, we're coming in, the car's looking good. And I was like, and Dustin's like, all right, no, the car doesn't look good. And he's like, what? I was like, Dustin's like, in the rear. And I started slamming my hands together. He's like, it's on the ground. And I was like, no. And I was like, two. He's like, we have two flats. We got two flats on the rear. We're coming in.
Then when I say that, DJ's like this.
And I'm like, how, with my horrible hand signals, me trying to drive at race pace, how did you figure out what I'm sitting here trying to describe to you, dude?
No idea. And I was like, whenever he said that, and I was like, really? I was like, I don't feel like we got flats, but all right, he's driving, not me. So I called in to Manny, and they're like, yep, we're ready. We got tires ready. So that was actually on the fuel stop. On the fuel stop.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thankfully, and we were super close.
Yeah.
But yeah, we.
But I just want to say what's happened before.
Okay.
in the past, and Dustin calls. I think it was at Laughlin or something. You called already and said, we got a front flat. Okay, so cool. Pull in the pit. We'll change it for you. So he pulls in, no flat. I'm like, you don't have a flat. Go. No. I got a flat. Change it. I was like, no, you don't have a flat. Go. He's like, change the tire. I got a flat. I was like, all right, we'll change it, but you ain't got a flat. So he made me change the tire, and we changed it, and we looked at it afterwards. It had all its air and everything. So now every time Dustin calls for a flat, everybody's like, are you sure? Everybody in the pits will start asking.
Because come to find out, neither one of the rear tires was flat when I came in the pits.
What's
Neither
crazy
one.
though is for people that don't drive cars, when you're driving the car for that long, you know when the slightest thing is wrong with the car. It's crazy.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think that.
Yeah.
And so,
And it can be low pressure in the tires, or like it pulling a little bit, or like coming off jumps, you feel a shock that's not dampening enough. Like you feel what's going on when you drive it that long. Like you know when something's changed. Except when it's flats, I don't never know when it's flats.
But at the same time too, like the tracks get so beat down that like it almost kind of plays with your mind a little bit. Like every little thing, you're like, oh crap, is like something wrong? Did I hear something? Because I remember at one point I'm like, man, this freaking exhaust sounds weird.
He said to me, that was the first lap. He kept picking his helmet up because just right off the gate we had got roosted. I forgot who we chased down, but we had to nerf him a few times. Well, his shield got roosted real bad, so I know he kept cracking his. And every time he'd crack, I could hear the exhaust through his shield, and like the wind got louder. And I seen him keep over there going. And I think he thought he could hear something better when he would pick his shield up. So like he was like, all right, hard right, and then he'd pick his shield up, and you could see him sitting over there. Then he'd close it, but medium left, pick it up. And he's like, man, there's something wrong with the exhaust. I was like, nah, bro, you keep picking your shield up, and it gets louder when you do that. I
picking up on the mic.
Yeah, I could hear it too.
Yeah, the whole time I was doing it, I was like, man, the exhaust sounds weird. I was like, I'm gonna tell DJ, but how do I tell him? Should I say the exhaust sounds weird, or should I say what I really feel like? Man, I think the exhaust is gone.
I'm glad you played it safe and went on the near side of that and just like, something may be wrong with the exhaust.
Yeah, but a couple turns later, I forgot all about it. And then I thought about it later in the race. I was like, you know what? I really don't think that exhaust sounded weird at all. Sounds pretty normal.
Oh man. It was a crazy rough race though, dude. And to be honest, you killed it, man. Like no bad calls, like everything went smoothly, and we came back, got third, man. So
dude, that's awesome, man. I'm freaking pumped for y'all.
Too bad there wasn't no live feed, or I wasn't recording the podium speak. Because, bro, Dustin.
Oh yeah, I can imagine.
Dustin was over there talking, and I don't know where he come up with it, but they asked him about the tires, his Maxxis tires. And he said, man, they were so good. They were hooking like lizard
fingers.
Because that's a grip.
Bro, everybody in the crowd was like, what did he just say?
Bro, half the people were like dying laughing just because it sounds funny. And the other half of people were like, what? Like they were trying to think about what that meant.
They were trying to process what he just said.
Dude, I didn't even realize it either. I was just, he's like, yeah, man, you got, because Maxis was also a sponsor of the race. So he's like, oh, man, I see you running Maxis. I was like, yeah, man, these things are like, and just as quick, like Ricky Bobby style. I was like, yeah, man, these things are like lizard fingers, man. They was just out there gripping and growling. Thing was hooking up.
Dude.
I seen the announcer look at me like, what?
Like he was shocked?
Yeah,
he hears a lot.
I liked it. I thought it was funny.
Dude, good analogies hit.
I wish I would have been recording it because
That's funny.
It's gone forever.
That's like a good train wreck. Josh is good about holding a camera whenever something crazy happens. Manny is good about letting the camera down and watching while it happens.
I'm bad about that too, because like you
I'm
want to
in the
see it,
moment,
you want
know?
to see it with your own eyeballs and
Yeah.
not with the camera, because like
I know, dude.
it hits different when you see it with your own eyes.
It definitely is different.
Yeah, Josh, almost, I think you touched the headlight of my truck with the camera on snow day.
Oh, yeah, it got real close.
Oh, on that picture, yeah.
Oh, yeah, it got real close.
And what part about it is the picture was terrible. So
Was it? Dude, I thought that was going to be a killer shot. Speaking of pictures, let's go in, take another dive into DJ's DMs tonight.
Oh man, what's it gonna be? What's it gonna be this week?
We hadn't done it in a while, and I'll be honest with you, I've got a couple from people that have been sending me for this that there's no way.
They've been stacking up.
Dude, but I couldn't share them with people. I'm like, that's way too far.
Like unbelievable or like just out there?
A mixture is two things. It's some things that are super sucky. Then I'm like, why would you send this to me? I don't even want to see this. And then secondly, I'm like, whoa, that's way too inappropriate to be showing not my friends, but showing people that are watching the podcast. But what's crazy is not long ago we joked around about Chris's fake tattoo that he got on his arm.
Yeah,
And so I thought it was-
he punked us on that deal.
I thought it was a good idea just to post it and like make a joke about it, and then say like, something to the effect that if anybody's willing to get a tattoo,
I'll pay for it.
I'll pay for it. Dude, this week I got DMs from two guys, one in Canada and one down here somewhere. Both of them got freaking S3 tattoos.
Are you serious?
Dude, I got to show you all these tattoos. They are insane.
Did they send you their Venmo or
Yeah,
Cash
did
App
you have
first?
to
And you're
pay-
like,
Oh,
what do
yeah.
you send me that for?
Oh,
The
yeah.
tattoo artist? Or how's that work?
Well, they had gotten the tattoo, didn't tell me. He was like, hey, man, when are we going to square away on this thing? And I'm like, what are you talking about? This was a joke. That wasn't even a real tattoo that I posted. It was like a water tattoo. So y'all got to look at this freaking dude's tattoo. This is literally the whole underside of his arm from his elbow
bicep?
to his armpit.
Oh man,
I had to think about what that was at first. I couldn't
bro,
tell.
that's big.
Dude, that's huge.
A huge tattoo underneath his arm.
What? That's insane.
That's
dude.
awesome.
Dude, and he didn't hardly
Bro,
say
that's
nothing.
some kind of commitment right there.
Yeah. Oh, no doubt about it. He's like, man, are you for real about that? And I kind of put, yeah, for sure, dude. If anybody was crazy enough, I would pay for it. And then the next message
He booked
was,
the appointment?
The next message. The next message was that.
Dude,
That-
I always talked about doing that. I was like, yeah, I would get one. Like, I don't have any, but like, I would get one. Like, if all y'all was like, let's go get one, I'd be like, all right,
Bro,
cool,
I'll
I'll
go
do
with
it.
y'all.
But I wouldn't do it on my whole bicep.
WKP. Freaking.
Dude, and then the next one that I got was from this wild dude in Canada. Didn't say a word to me. Didn't even ask me to pay for it. He said, no freaking problem.
That's the coolest one.
I'll pay for it myself. My mind exploded. It's literally, and we'll throw it up on screen for people that are listening. I will describe it to you. It is a Bart Simpson with a full-length mullet.
Homer Simpson.
Let me reset. Josh, cut that out, okay? So it is a Homer Simpson with a full-length mullet, some sweet porn star sideburns, and a pair of S3 glasses.
Yeah, shades.
S3
He
sunglasses.
is doing
rocking.
that. I want to know where he got that at.
That's
Yeah,
sweet.
where he
Where's
got that
at?
idea?
Where is the tattoo on his body?
Looks
Dude,
like on his
I'm
thigh.
just mad that I didn't think about that because
That is-
that's sweet.
Dude, that's the best tattoo I can imagine. And I think he got it up on his up high on his thigh is where he got it.
That exact reason right there, that's why I don't have tattoos, is because I could never think of something that cool.
No, because when he sent it to me, I was like, dude, I would get that.
Man,
That's
I
a
would
good
too.
idea.
But why didn't I think of that?
Dude, even got a mullet too.
Dude, the sweetest. And who would have thought to put S3 sunglasses on him?
That's what I'm saying, dude. Like, if I could think of sweet stuff like that, bro, I'd be tatted up.
So for this podcast, that was a look into DJ's DMs. And everybody, you can keep sending me stuff, but we'll pick and choose which ones make it. But you can keep them coming. We'll put you on blast on the podcast. Start calling people by name after this one.
Yeah.
And so the next thing we got to do is Manny. He's been reigning champion for a couple of weeks now, holding on to the belt. But I'm going to be honest, Manny. You have to give it up this week.
Uh-oh.
And the man that's getting it, the man that's taking the belt this week is going to be our boy that comes through in a pinch. He'll drop 4 chicks off to come total his truck. Quinton Daniels taking the world championship belt tonight, boy.
All right, well, I got it all polished up for you. So
I'll be honest with you, you don't look like you took care of this thing.
Nah, you should have seen how I got it.
Really, yeah, it looks better than when Hubert had it for sure. Realistically, Quinton, it's well deserved for you to just pick up the phone when you got dinner with girls to come pick up your boys. Hung up on the side of the interstate. Man.
It almost cost you
That is
$80,000
worth it.
truck, so
It
I hope it was worth it.
almost cost an $80,000 truck.
Worth it.
And so just a round of applause for our boy Q.
Yeah.
Let me just see.
Taking home the belt. Quinton, what's the first thing you're going to do with that belt?
Probably go home, take a shower, wash it off.
You know, there's going to be lots of wearing that belt with nothing else.
Yeah, that's what I was just saying. He's going to go home and send us a
Nothing else.
picture of belt only.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Wearing it like a pair of underwear.
Does thing still smell like new truck? Yeah.
It does. Still smells like new
I
leather.
didn't even put no wear on it.
Oh, man.
When the light hits it.
Gosh, that
When the
thing's
light hits
blinding.
it.
All right, that's well deserved.
That was. I can appreciate it. So that's a wrap, boys. Another good podcast. Another waste of y'all's night.
Yeah, that was a good one. I enjoyed that one.
Manny D, y'all going to have to come back swinging sometime.
All right.
Y'all going to have to do something crucial to take that back from Quinton.
Yeah.
Well, we got Texplex coming up, so I'm sure we can figure something out.
If that's what I got to go to keep it, I guess I'm going to have to rent something.
Because you know his car ain't going to be ready for it. All right, boys, that is a wrap. So anybody that wants to go check out the podcast, we have it on video on YouTube and on our S3 Facebook. But also, if you're just a listener, you want to check this out while you're at work, and you can let your kids listen to it. You can go to Spotify, you can go to Apple Play, you can go to any of the major podcast places and check us out. And you guys just got to know we're going to keep them coming. So that's a wrap, boys.
Help scare money, don't make money.